Welcome to Chris Veve Journey, where I take you on a trip to Veve, always as an adventurer, never as a financial advisor, so please invest with caution. So today I want to talk about the DC Pulp NFTs for a second, then we go over the latest news, the drop news about the new Scarlet-Spider book we see tomorrow, and lastly I will talk a little bit about current prices in the comic scene, in the physical comic space. So to give a little bit of perspective how the prices actually work in the comic world. I know it's not a one-on-one thing, the comic world and the NFT world, but I thought it might give a little bit of perspective, and that can only be helpful. So that will be the second part of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, let me know about it. So let's get right into the browser view. So we have these DC NFTs. They hit OpenSea. You can buy them on OpenSea. Now, you can't. Don't do that. Don't buy these. These are not the DC Palm NFTs. Those can't be transferred into another wallet yet. So if you have them on your DC account and you can't transfer them. So these can't even be real. Don't buy those. They have ridiculous prices. 0.16 ETH, 1 ETH even. I mean, these are all scams. Like, all over the board scams. Which is funny because most of these rares are actually the Green Lantern rare, so that's the one I got. Funny enough that this is the most scammable thing there. Yeah, awesome. Also the prices would be totally crazy to have the legendary for 0.16 ETH and 1 ETH for just a rare. That's crazy. Yeah, so much for that. Don't get these. Don't get any of these OpenSea DC Palm NFTs. They are not the real deal. I was also looking into if we have more info on the DC Palm NFTs, and there's literally none information to find. At least I didn't find anything. We don't know if they are limited in any type, shape or form. Any type, shape or form. So that's what I was going to say. I heard talks about that the legendaries might be limited to just 3%, but I don't know. If we don't have any limitation yet on how many we have all over the board, then we can't know if 3% is really legit. So makes no sense. Most likely they will do something similar like Veve does and have them transferred on another Ethereum layer, so that they become also real NFTs and can be transferred between wallets. But this is just talking, we don't know. In my view, this thing has potential. I think the whole marketing thing was handled very poorly by DC. It didn't work. That they didn't talk about it on DC fandom is beyond me. Why didn't they tell us anything about it? Why haven't they yet announced what these things will be able to do? Like, are these comics, are they not? We don't know nothing about prices or anything, but if you know about this, you're pretty early on, you are already registered, so maybe you can be there in the beginning, which is as great as being there in the beginning of Veve. Maybe, possibly. So I'm interested to see how this will develop, and I might even invest into some of this stuff, but yeah, for now we don't know much. So but make sure you don't buy these things on OpenSea. That was my main thing I wanted to talk about. So let's get to the Veve news. So the next drop tomorrow, Web of Spider-Man 118. So I guess it's kind of the first app of Ben Reilly Spider-Man, but it's this Ben Reilly Spider-Man. So not really first app, because we've known him before, but it's his Web of Spider-Man line is 118. He has a super cool design, which I always loved, and in the last video I actually said something wrong. So this suit wasn't designed by Mark Bagley. Such a big Mark Bagley fan, I thought he designed it, but he didn't. It was actually Tom Lilam who designed this suit. So sorry for that one. Yeah, it's a regular thing. 30,000 edition size, $6.99 blind box, 8 AM. PT will be the time this thing will be released. You have the common, uncommon rare, ultra rare, secret rare. So nothing special here. Again, we have exclusive to Veve covers. And this time it's from Tony S. Daniel. Sorry. Tony S. Daniel is a designer, artist, comic book artist I adore. He's really great. So this is just his sketch variant. The rare, I have to say it's not my cup of tea. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of the artist, but yeah, I think he has done so many great images and I saw so much good stuff from him. This is not it for me. I have to be honest. So, but the ultra rare again. So the ultra rare, the colored variant, that looks pretty dope. This is an awesome book. That looks great. Colors by Marcelo Maiolo. I don't know Marcelo Maiolo yet, but I think he did an amazing work here. Looks pretty great. Having the webs in orange is pretty nice touch. Looks great. So you have the blue and the orange, and blue and orange is always a great combo. That's why most of the movie posters are actually blue and orange. If you look for it, you see it everywhere. So that is pretty cool. I like the colored version. But yeah, the thing is, for me, if I even get something, I usually get a common. So I don't expect nothing else but a common from this drop. If I get one, I'm happy because I got a common at least. And having the common means having the original cover, which is great. So I'd love to have that in my collection. Again, with the uncommon, the black and white variant with a little bit of color. Yeah, not my cup of tea. I think all the other covers look better. The rare, I think this is a cutout from another cover book. Looks great, is pretty great, but out of my reach if I don't get it during the drop, and I haven't never gotten a secret rare yet. I mean, I'm still new, but yeah, I don't expect to get a secret rare ever. So the rare, like I said, not so great. I picked up every rare from the Veve exclusive covers that were released so far, but I guess I will skip this one because I don't like it that much. I don't see it as important as the others. And I would love to have the ultra rare cover. That looks great. That would be like my favorite thing to get. But yeah, if I don't get it, then it will most likely be in the $500 range, and that is a little bit out of my reach at these times. Invested in too much other stuff. So yeah, so much for this drop. We're at 7 minutes. That is pretty great. Yeah, about Tony Daniels. I mean, might show you some of his work. So this is Nocterra, a Scott Snyder book made with Tony Daniels, is pretty new. I actually hope this book will arrive today in the mail. I ordered this as soon as it was able to be ordered, and I read the first issue of it. This is the paperback that I have ordered. If you don't know what the paperback is, go back to my video yesterday. I show you what the Flapsy paperbacks are, the soft covers actually, with the whole story. So this is one of his designs. This is a DC work of Tony Daniel. I love the way he does Deathstroke. Looks pretty great. That's one of his Batman covers. Awesome. This is one of the best covers I've seen. And yeah, here's a little work he did for Marvel, a Wolverine cover, and also a Spider-Man cover. So he is pretty great in drawing. Yes, he's an awesome artist. I just don't feel this black and white Scarlet-Spider variant too much, but it's great. I mean, if I get it, I keep it. It's cool. If I get the secret rare, I might, yeah, I gotta say, if I get the secret rare this time, if you get it, it depends on what your budget is and all that stuff, but with my budget, there's so much stuff I still want to buy, season 1 stuff, other comics. If I get the secret rare, I pretty much, yeah, I would sell it. I guess I would rather sell it and get other stuff. Maybe even another secret rare. That would be like a one-on-one trade for me. But I'd rather get another one than keeping this one. It's a great book. Love to have the comment. The other stuff, yeah, in my opinion, expendable. If you don't own a lot of the other stuff. There's so much stuff I don't own and I want to have. That's why I would trade the secret rare in this case. Most of the time I think keeping the secret rare is smart. But I would kind of trade it off for another one and yeah, be happy with that. So much for the news. What I want to talk about with you guys now is let's talk comics in the real world. and comic prices in the real world. Because when I hear everyone talk about the comics on Veve, they always talk about these high-end sales, these $1,000,000 sales, hundreds of thousands of dollar sales. But there's another layer to it, and there's a lot of books that ain't even that expensive, even though they are rare, they are important. And that has a lot to do with the grading of the book. And I know the grading is in what condition the book is. So that's hard to transfer over to something like Veve. But you can tell how scarce is a book, like the rarity or the mint number. And I'm not saying we should transfer these measurements one-on-one, but if you think you get rich with comments, you might want to consider some of this, what I'm going to show you now. And I'm not trying to tell somebody not to be bullish. I'm pretty bullish about Veve. I just think it's always a little bit easy to think you invest like $10-20 and you end up being a millionaire. I don't know. I like to be a little bit more to be a little bit more grounded. So yeah. So let's talk about these books. So this is Batman 181. It's the first step of Poison Ivy. This book gained a little bit traction this week, or last week better yet, because Bridget Regan was casted for the Batwoman series. It's a CW show, Batwoman, if you haven't seen it yet. I have neither. I don't have the time to watch all the shows I want to watch right now, so I have to wait a little bit before I can see it. So the 0.5 grading. So we always talk about the 9.8 grades. The 0.5 is a pretty banged up book already. I mean, there's a lot of books that wouldn't even get 0.5 because this book is so old. I guess it's in the 60 years range. Should it be already? Yeah, so that book in the 0.5 grade is $278. So that's a new high for the book. This is far away from these numbers we hear people talk about on Veve. And then we also had an 8.0 sale. So 8.0 is way better. It's pretty good condition. That was sold for $4,000. So that is the range we have here. $278 for a pretty banged up book. Pretty good condition for a book in this age, $4,000. And this year we also had the 9.8 sale, and that was $90,000. So $4,000 for 8.0, 9.8 goes for $90,000. And I think we will see something similar develop on Veve. I mean, in my opinion, it would be great if everything on Veve will have great prizes. Like, I don't know, if you can get rich with comments, awesome. If you just have a few comments you can get rich, that would be great. And I'm wishing everyone luck with that. It's just something that I don't feel like it's pretty realistic, depending on what comic collectors already pay for books. But let's see. Just giving some perspective here. So let's get to the next book. That is Daredevil. So all these books moved pretty good this week, or last week better yet. So that's why we talk about these books specifically. So this is Daredevil #2. It's the second appearance of Daredevil and the second appearance of Electro. Second appearances become interesting because Daredevil 1 is so expensive that you can't even get a low grade. So even those are already so hefty in price that people start to go for the second appearance. And there's some X-Men books people go for the third appearance, even for the third team appearance, not even of a character, but the whole team. So this is something we can see now with comic prices rising more and more, that people go for different appearances, even that they say a few years before people weren't going for second appearances. You always had the first appearance, but now with these prices we see people go for second and third appearances. So the 7.0 has risen by almost 60% to $1,080, while the 9.2 has gone up to $4,500. So that's also for a second appearance pretty big. Don't mind that. So that's a $4,500 book in 9.2. So the 9.8, if the 9.2 hits 4,500, then I don't know what the 9.8 is going for currently, but I would say if we reach 4,500 on the 9.2, we're pretty much going to see a 9.8 reach the 10k. If it hasn't reached 10k already, I don't know that. So the next book is Fantastic Four 25. So this book is considered to be the first battle between the Hulk and the Thing. It's actually not. There was a scuffle before in Fantastic Four 12, but for whatever reason, the market has decided that this is the book to get. This is the real fight, so they really want this one. That is interesting because the 3.0 has had an uptick of 90% and it cost $340 now. The 5.0 only has seen a 6% uptick. So 90% for the 3.0, 6% for the 5.0. So the 5.0 is going for 622. No, I'm sorry. So the 6.0, the 5.0, 6% rise to $625. So now we got it. The 6.0 has also gone up in 26% to $775. So that is interesting. So this book doesn't have any first appearances. This is just the event that takes place that Hulk is fighting the Thing. So that's a pretty good price for something like that. And that's why people are going for it. Next book in line, Fantastic Four 48. This is such a special book, and it hasn't been for a long time because the Fantastic Four Sony movies, they weren't so great, and so this book was kind of affordable for a long time, but now we see pretty hefty prices on it. This week it was even more special. It gained some momentum because James Gunn, he's the producer of the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie. He did the Suicide Squad movie we saw in the last month. And he will also do a Christmas special on the Disney Plus streaming service. And he has announced that there will be one of the most important characters in the MCU will be in this special. And that leads people to think that maybe we will see the Silver Surfer in this special. That would be amazing to have him come up for the first time in a Christmas special, but yeah, that would be kind of awesome also. So that's why this book has become more expensive. There's also a possibility that we, instead of the Silver Surfer, would see the Santa Claus. Yeah, that guy. You know, Santa Claus. In the Marvel Universe, he's a mutant, and he's a really powerful mutant. Omega level mutant, that's what they say. That's the most powerful mutants. And there's a possibility we see him also. So we don't know. And Galactus has also a cameo in this book. So Galactus is the one eating planets and the Silver Surfer is his herald. Like I said, Silver Surfer first app in this book and Galactus first cameo appearance. So the 1.8 of this book, 1.8 grade, has gone up to 37%, now costing $1,400. The 6.5 is up 10% to $5,500. Well, this is already a pretty expensive book. Getting this one a 9.8 almost impossible. And yeah, so then we have Fantastic Four 67. So Fantastic Four 67 has the first cameo appearance of him. Him will later change to Adam Warlock, and Adam Warlock has been casted. So this is Adam Warlock with the Infinity Gauntlet even. So, and he has been casted for the movies, and Will Poulter is the one who has been cast to play Adam Warlock, which, in my opinion, pretty great idea. I mean, he really looks like the guy. I think he really makes it. So, paint him orange, everything is awesome. So, I know people know Will Poulter mostly from funny movies, but he also done some horror stuff and stuff. And yeah, I think he's great. So, I think he's a great actor. Love to see him. And because he has been cast, so this book was rising already all the time because people knew we would see Adam Warlock, but we didn't know who would be cast as Adam Warlock. So the 1.8, pretty banged up book. 1.8 got up 37% to $1,400, while the 6.5 has gone up 10% to $5,500. So there's a lot of books this time with 5,500 price point. So, oh no, sorry, my bad. That was wrong. So that was the Fantastic Four 48. I'm sorry, I read the wrong line. So the 7.5 of this book, that has gone up 33% to $1,000, and the 8.5 gone up 36% to $1,762. So not so much 5,500, but there's another 5,500, and we had a 5,500 already. So okay, so the next book I want to talk about is Fantastic Four 66. This is also him. As you can see, this week's book were moving because of the Will Porter casting news. That's what's always happening. It's the MCU, it's the driver behind all these comic sales. So Fantastic Four 66, this is the origin of him. Before he becomes Adam Warlock, there's an origin. The origin is in this book. That has gone roughly about 30% all over the board in price. And then we have the Marvel Premiere 1. That's interesting because it's the number 1. So Marvel Premiere 1 is the rebirth from him, and he becomes Adam Warlock. And he also gets a Soul Gem. That's an Infinity Stone, the one Thanos had. So that's interesting. These books also went up in price, roughly 30% all over the board. And then we have Thor 165, and that's the last book for today that we talk about. That was the most looked for book this week or last week. And that's because it's the first appearance of him and the first cover appearance of him. So you can see his design is barely far away. I mean, it's far away from finished. He doesn't look anything like Adam Warlock, but he starts out as him. That's how he looked in the beginning. It's his first cover appearance and his first full appearance. So that one had a really big uptick in price. So the 2.5 went up 82% to $400, but $400 is still something you can still buy. So that is interesting. The 7.0 went up 94%, $1,650, and the 9.0 went up 56% to $5,500. There we have 5,500 again. So yeah, that was the most looked after book this week because of the casting news. But as you can see, all these prizes, these really old books, these key appearances, if we are not talking about the 9.8, we talk about very different prizes than what everyone else talks about most of the time. If you go in the mid-range, like a 6.0 or even 5 or 4.0, prices are down by a lot. So please keep that in mind. I think that's interesting to know. So 23 minutes. I talked a lot today. I hope it was kind of insightful, that you like this. If you want to see this more often, like I could do this on a weekly basis, that we talk about the current good running comic books, how much they gained in price, how did they perform, why did they perform, we can do that. This was a little bit quick today. I didn't have much time to prepare, but I hope it was still interesting. And you know, if you like the video, leave a like. If you want to follow, that would be awesome. If you didn't like the video, you can leave a dislike, or you can even tell me why. I might learn a bit from something like that. So thanks a lot for that. Hope to see you guys as soon as possible again. I'll be doing videos almost daily now, and would be great to see you guys. Thanks.